Football has always been a sport of passion. Every controversial penalty, every offside decision, every questionable red card leaves millions debating for days. But every once in a while, a controversy grows beyond football. It becomes political. It becomes global. And that's exactly what happened during the 2026 FIFA World Cup. A single disciplinary decision ignited accusations that FIFA wasn't simply making a football decision, but responding to pressure from one of the world's most powerful political figures. At almost the same time, old accusations resurfaced, claims that FIFA had spent years protecting one player, Lionel Messi. Were these just emotional reactions from disappointed fans? Or were they signs of something much bigger? Tonight, we're following every clue, every timeline, every statement, every controversy. Not to tell you what to believe, but to separate what happened from what people believe happened. Because sometimes, the truth is stranger than the conspiracy. Everything began with a red card. Not a World Cup final. Not a last-minute penalty. Not a VAR decision involving Messi. Just a red card during one of the biggest tournaments in football history. United States striker Balogun was sent off after an incident that officials judged worthy of a dismissal. Under normal tournament rules, a straight red card usually carries an automatic suspension for the next match, unless it is overturned or modified through the disciplinary process. Most fans assumed that was exactly what would happen. Balogun would miss the next game. The story would end there. But it didn't. Instead, it became the biggest talking point in football, the decision that changed everything. Before the United States' next match, FIFA announced that Balogun would be eligible to play while the disciplinary process continued. That immediately triggered outrage online, not simply because fans disagreed with the decision, but because of what had happened just hours earlier. United States President Donald Trump had publicly stated that he had asked FIFA President Gianni Infantino to review Balogun's suspension.
I asked for a review because I didn't think it was a foul. And, again, I'm good at this stuff. I didn't think it was a foul. I thought it was two great athletes that crashed into each other and got entangled. That was not a guy punching somebody in the face or anything that, would be different. And I think it's a terrible, if they wouldn't allow, a top player, maybe the best, maybe among the best players on the team to play, I think it would have had a big stain. And I related just that feel. I didn't tell him what to do. I can't tell him what to do. But and I don't believe he made the decision. I think it was a committee that made the decision. And they made the right decision because, number one, it wasn't a foul. And you want to see a game with your best players. You don't want to say, how would you feel if I took, we take Messi out? Look, he ran into somebody. Or we took Ronaldo. Ronaldo, you bunked into somebody, we're going to take you out of a game. He's great. Or Harry Kane. Harry Kane, we're going to take you out of the game, Harry, because you happen to hit somebody a little bit harder than you can't do that. If you would have taken him out, I think it would have really stained this incredible champion. We got to have our best players, and Belgium's got a great team, by the way. We got to have our best players, and they have to have their best. And if we win or we lose, it's fair. Otherwise, let's say we lost him and we lose the game. It would be a terrible thing. So I think they made a really brilliant decision. I think the referee's call was horrible. And nobody talks about that. They talk about the red card like it's fine. Nobody talks. The referee's decision to red card. I didn't know what the hell a red card was. When I found out, I said, you got to be kidding. This guy just hands up. Okay, your best player is not going to play next week or in the next game. I said, wow, that's a lot of power. That's terrible. But then I looked at his past, and it wasn't so great.
Soon after, FIFA confirmed that the suspension would be put on hold, pending further review, allowing Balogun to play. To supporters of the decision, this showed that FIFA's disciplinary process allowed for appeals and reviews. To critics, however, the timing raised uncomfortable questions. Did the review happen because the normal process was followed? Or did public pressure from one of the world's most powerful political leaders play a role? At this stage, there is no public evidence proving political interference. What made the story explode was the sequence of events and how many people interpreted it. The debate wasn't just about Balogun anymore. It became about whether football's governing body could remain independent when powerful figures entered the conversation. Social media exploded within minutes. hashtag FIFA rigged, began trending. Some users claimed FIFA had destroyed its own credibility. Others argued that fans were overreacting and ignoring the appeals process. Some even compared the situation to controversial disciplinary decisions from previous tournaments. The conversation spread beyond football. News outlets covered it. Pundits debated it. Former referees weighed in. And then another name started appearing over and over again. Lionel Messi. Why Messi? At first glance, Messi had absolutely nothing to do with Balogun's suspension. Different teams, different matches, different circumstances. Yet millions of fans immediately connected the two stories. Why? Because, for years, one of football's most persistent debates has been whether FIFA, consciously or unconsciously, has favored Messi and Argentina in key moments. Too many supporters of that theory. The Balogun controversy wasn't an isolated incident. It was simply another chapter in a much longer story. A story stretching back years. A story filled with disputed penalties, VAR decisions, refereeing calls, and accusations that football's biggest governing body wanted the sport's biggest icon to succeed. Whether those accusations are fair or not, they have become part of modern football discourse. And to understand why Balogun's case reignited them, we have to go back. Back before the 2026 World Cup. Back before Trump. Back before this latest controversy. Back to the tournament that changed everything. The 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Because many fans believe that's where the story truly begins. Before there was Balogun, before there were accusations involving politics, there was another World Cup, one that millions of football fans will never forget. The 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Everything, except the one trophy that matters most. The FIFA World Cup. For nearly 2 decades, football fans had argued over one question. Who is the greatest player of all time? For many, one World Cup title would settle that debate forever. That made Qatar more than just another tournament. It felt like the final chapter of a legendary career. And that's exactly why every controversial decision involving Argentina was examined under a microscope. The penalty debate. One statistic quickly spread across social media. Argentina received several penalties during the tournament. Supporters argued those decisions reflected Argentina's aggressive attacking, play infrequent, touches inside the penalty area. Critics argued that some of the calls were soft, inconsistent, or would not have been awarded to other teams. Clips of each decision spread online, frame by frame. Slow motion, zoomed-in angles. Every replay became fuel for debate. Some fans saw clear fouls. Others saw players going down too easily. The same footage led to completely different conclusions. That divide helped the controversy grow. VAR, savior or villain? The introduction of VAR was supposed to reduce mistakes. Instead, for many supporters, it created a new question. Through intense attention, supporters of Argentina pointed out decisions that went against them as well. Arguing the idea of constant favoritism ignored those moments of suspicion. The Netherlands match. If there was one game that symbolized the tension of that tournament, it was Argentina versus the Netherlands. It had everything. Late drama, mass confrontation, players arguing, emotions boiling over. The referee issued a record number of yellow cards. After the match, fans from both sides questioned aspects of the officiating. Some believed Argentina should have faced harsher punishment for certain incidents. Others argued the referee struggled to control the game overall, rather than favoring one team. Regardless of where viewers stood, the match became one of the defining flashpoints of the tournament.
In the end, I just want to say that everyone saw how FIFA helped Messi and Argentina.
The France final. Then came the final. Argentina versus France. A match many consider one of the greatest World Cup finals ever played. The game had almost everything football fans could ask for. Goals, momentum swings, extra time, penalty drama, and unforgettable performances. But even this match generated debate. Some questioned individual refereeing decisions. Others argued the officiating was broadly consistent under extraordinary pressure. Years later, those moments are still replayed online, with different viewers reaching different conclusions from the same footage. The internet builds a narrative. This is where something important happened. Football debates moved beyond television studios. Short clips on TikTok, threads on X, YouTube compilations, Facebook posts, Reddit discussions. Each platform amplified selective moments. One creator might post a montage of every controversial decision that appeared to favor Argentina. Another would compile decisions that went against them. Both videos could go viral. Both could seem convincing. The result wasn't necessarily that one side had proven its case. It was that millions of fans increasingly consumed evidence that reinforced what they already believed. The FIFA want a perfect ending. Perhaps the biggest theory to emerge wasn't about one penalty or one referee, arguing that orchestrating a tournament involving dozens of matches, multiple officiating teams, players, coaches, and independent scrutiny would be extraordinarily difficult to hide. To date, no conclusive evidence has demonstrated that FIFA manipulated the tournament to ensure Argentina's victory. The discussion has remained largely one of interpretation, perception, and debate. Why the debate never disappeared? Years passed. The tournament ended. Messi lifted the trophy. Yet the arguments never really stopped. Every controversial call involving Argentina, every disputed refereeing decision, every high-profile FIFA ruling was viewed by some fans through the lens of 2022. So when the Balogun disciplinary decision became headline news, many people didn't see it as an isolated event. They saw it as another entry in a story they believed had been unfolding for years. Whether that perception is justified or not, it explains why the reaction was so intense. But if the Messi debate had been simmering since 2022, the Balogun controversy added a new ingredient: politics. Because this time, the conversation wasn't just about referees or VAR, it was about power, influence, and a phone call. Or, more precisely, a public request that ignited a fresh wave of questions. If anyone thought the debate surrounding Argentina had finally faded, the round of 16 changed that. Argentina faced Egypt in one of the most dramatic matches of the tournament. For nearly 80 minutes, Egypt looked set to produce one of the biggest upsets in World Cup history. But then, everything changed. A VAR review ruled out what would have been a crucial Egyptian goal after officials judged there had been a foul earlier in the attacking phase. Soon after, Egypt also believed they should have received a penalty during another key moment in the match. Those decisions became the focus of intense debate almost immediately. Fox Sports +1. When Argentina completed a remarkable comeback to win 3-2. The football itself was almost overshadowed by the refereeing. Egypt's coach, Hassan, publicly questioned the officiating, and the Egyptian Football Association later said it had serious concerns about the consistency of the decisions and the use of VAR. DW News +2. Supporters of Argentina argued that the officials had simply applied the laws of the game. Critics believed the decisions favored the defending champions. Once again, football was divided. Whether those criticisms were justified or not, the controversy followed a familiar pattern. Every disputed call, every VAR review, every close decision involving Argentina was now being viewed through the lens of everything that had come before. And that brings us to the biggest question of all. Maybe this documentary was never really about Messi. Maybe it was never just about Balogun, or politics, or one referee. Maybe it's about something every sport depends on: the belief that the rules apply equally to everyone. Because once that belief is questioned, every whistle, every review, every suspension, every trophy comes under scrutiny. Football has survived wars, political boycotts, corruption scandals, technological change, and countless controversies. It will survive this one too. But whether fans regain confidence depends not on social media arguments, not on conspiracy theories, and not on viral clips. It depends on transparency, consistency, and accountability. Until then, every major decision will continue to divide opinion, not because everyone believes the same thing, but because millions no longer agree on who or what they can trust. So now the question passes to you. Was this simply another football controversy? Or has the game reached a point where trust must be earned all over again? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this documentary and want more deep dives into the biggest stories in football, don't forget to subscribe. Because sometimes the biggest story isn't what happened on the pitch. It's everything that happened after the final whistle.